When I turned 21, all I had was an Xbox and my cat, but my buddy over here, Jackie Estacado, had it a little rougher than me. Famous Eminem lookalike and mass murderer, he had it tough. Sure, he's got 2 guns along with 2 matching friendly tentacles, but more importantly, he had the darkness. A family curse that passes down from generation to generation, only manifesting at 21. A curse that talked to Jackie in spooky text.
They burn Jackie, all the little ones. Such delicate torture of the body and soul.
Threatening to take control of our trench coat wearing hero, but for what reason? Well, we'll find out. So yes, The Darkness is a Xbox 360 and PSV release from 2007, but never on PC, which is bizarre because it really feels like a PC game. But what is it about this mediocre game that grabs me so hard? It could give me the highest rated award-winning gaming experience that will change my perspective on life, but I'd still choose the strange, underselling, edgy game that not many people talk about. So The Darkness, not the band, is a game I've always had fond memories of, but never replayed. I really get into my 6th gen games recently. There's value to be found here, especially for £2. Anyway, the game. Firstly, the core gameplay mechanic. The shooting isn't very good. It's stiff. The movement is clunky and slow, and all the guns do feel the same. You do have a little jump, but I can't really remember where you use it. Possibly some tiny ledges. I would describe Jackie as a walking tank. You are nimble enough to get out of the way of oncoming fire, and you really need to, as enemies can take you down just as easily as you take them down. Well, maybe less of a tank and more of a glass cannon now I think about it. Gameplay never gets that deep. It's very semi-open world action-adventure, but we'll delve into that a bit deeper later. But I'm ignoring the main attraction, the darkness. 2 slithery snake-like creatures that give you spooky abilities. You can slap, slam, eat hearts. This is for progression. More hearts equals more powers. Slither, summon black holes. Not only that, but you can summon darklings, cheeky little buggers who assist you in fights. They come in different flavours. The Gooner, the Edger, the Chad, and the Anxious Precomer. Fun little additions that add a slightly light-hearted twist to the game, a game that is as bleak as it comes. So the basic outline of the plot is as follows. Jackie here is a hitman who works for the local mafia family, committing the murder. His uncle Paulie, who's the boss of the family, wants Jackie dead. Not sure if there's a reason for this. Past, he just doesn't like him. And so chaos ensues as Paulie tries to kill Jackie. All doesn't go to plan because he does it when Jackie has his bad dragon powers.
Through you, I will display my power.
One clean shot and he's dead.
Through you, I am born. You are nothing but my puppet.
We also have Jenny, Jackie's BF, the script says BF, Jackie's GF, girlfriend, who isn't involved in this world of grime and crime. She's just sweet and nice, nothing bad will ever happen to Jenny. So the game works as this bizarre, very poorly signposted open world. You do have smaller areas that are just made for combat encounters, but this is where you'll be spending most of your time. You might even find yourself getting lost, as the game gives you no proper map. Only these subway maps spotted around the world, as you mainly use the subway to travel between areas. Now the Morrowind fan in me loves this, just given a street name and told, go find. It's a great way to encourage exploration and engagement with the game's world, but when most of New York looks the same with no real landmarks, it can be difficult to find your way around. It feels like they were going for a Duke Nukem Half-Life 2 design almost. Things are interactable and everything feels lived in, nothing is new or clean. Thankfully, I played this game when I was 10, so I know these streets like the back of my hands. So a warning to any new players, I'd recommend following a guide during these sections. Lots can be found like collectibles and optional conversations with the monstrous characters of New York, but still follow an online map or a guide to avoid frustration. You also visit hell at various points in the game. Not New York, real hell. Jackie dies one way or another, ending up in hell, represented by one of the world wars, a very chilling and scary way to represent the afterlife. You also meet one of Jackie's ancestors here, a previous host of the darkness, but we can find out a bit more about that later. The streets of New York, sticky, stinky, and Doom 3E. The lighting engine seems to think so anyway. I'll put it on screen to see if it is the same engine. You might have noticed the game is devoid of any colour. The devs took the name a little too literal, I think, as the comics the game is based on are dark yet colourful. And I should really mention, The Darkness is based off a Top Cow published comic book series. The Darkness follows our protagonist, almost Sonic the Hedgehog character and ladies man Jackie Estacado, who first appeared in 1996's Witchblade issue 10. Due to what I could only assume was the popularity of the character, The Darkness was then later published in 1998, giving Jackie and The Darkness their own solo story. There was a movie in the talks at the same point when this game was released, probably due to the success of the Batman Begins movie and Iron Man, ushering in a new superhero comic book craze. But it looks like the film adaptation never got off the ground. Oh, excuse me, sir. Did you order your menu with a side of worms? But what is The Darkness? It's not just two silly worms with a hankering for hearts. It's an entire otherworldly entity. Kinda like a demon, but not. It's purposely left vague in the game, as no one really knows what it is. It just is. An evil dark force that just keeps coming back. Your World War I uncle being the first to make a pact with the darkness, cursing the Estacado family. Thus, Jackie got that worm in him. Oh my god, I didn't mention the loading screens. So throughout the game, we are treated to Jackie doing this one-man show in a dead theatre, literally and figuratively. Given exposition, filling in the player on the characters and the world, while also reacting to things in the story, kinda like Jersey Shore. And oh my god, I love the idea behind these, don't get me wrong, but they give off the biggest I am a badass vibe. I get this guy on paper qualifies as a badass, again in quotes, but the presentation here in this cutscenes is anything but. Dare I say it's cringe at times. Also, they are a great way to hide loading screens while also filling in the player on what the character's thinking and feeling and world building. So now we know, moving throughout the story, killing Paulie's goons and all around messing up his shit, we learn that Jenny and Jackie met an orphanage. Now that's so sweet. To get to Jackie, Uncle Paulie bombs it. He bombs the orphanage. Now tell me, who sounds more evil? A man with a literal demon coming out of his ass who eats hearts for fun? Or just an old guy, he's a bit of a boomer, runs a small crime ring, doesn't understand the kids. Oh, and he bombs orphanages in his spare time. What a fantastic way to make you dislike the villain here. A+ for effort. Being the kindest person in the game, Jenny of course wants to help. You know, because she's sweet and nothing bad ever happens to Jenny.
You were my blood, Jackie. I loved you like a son, and you took from me. You stole my respect, and you stole my trust. And when blood takes from blood, someone always pays. So now, I take from you.
Jackie, this is not your fault.
So when it comes to the gameplay, I've not mentioned it too much, and I've made the game sound kind of mediocre and bad so far. I mean, it is the definition of a 6 out of 10, but I mean this when I say it, I love it to bits. It's not scared with looking edgy, it tells an emotional and dark story, one that doesn't shy away from violence. I really appreciate it for doing that, regardless of some of the questionable presentation. I just want to mention this church section where you fight against the police, as I haven't really touched on the combat encounters or difficulty yet. The bad guys, yes that includes the police, they are working for Paulie, have figured out that you can't manifest your powers in the light, and flood the church hall with a blinding light. This for me was the most difficult part of a fairly easy game. A gauntlet of guns and machine guns with nowhere to hide. You're assaulted from above and below with new lights being added with every new wave. One of the main mechanics of the game is taking out lights so you can manifest the darkness. Standing in the darkness lets you use your powers and recover health. You don't have much space here, and I died. A lot. Also, here's some top tier dentistry work. This is one of those scenes that stuck with me from this game, as I didn't really remember that much when going back into it. Can you tell I cut 3 takes together there? Maybe? To tie up the story, we have another trip to hell, breaking into the Darkness's crib in an attempt to purge Jackie. We also found these swanky darkness guns down here too on a previous visit, which help us control the darkness. One goes pew pew pew, and the other goes pow pow pow. I sound like those dancing guys from GT. Boom para para! And so we enter the last leg of this game, Assault on the Lighthouse. So throughout our adventure, killing Paulie's goons and messing up his shit, there have been these news broadcasts and murmurings regarding a big eclipse happening any day now. The darkness is basically back in his cage since you dropped a dookie in his crib and hugged the guy from Hatred, but is very happy about the eclipse and all the potential murder, hoping to use it to take control of Jackie completely. And so the assault begins. You fight your way up the island in what might be the second hardest part of the game, until the sun starts to fade due to the eclipse. The game starts to blend cutscene and gameplay together as you fight your way through the mansion to the lighthouse, an extremely entertaining and well put together sequence. You also get infinite Darklings here, which is extremely fun. I wish this game came with a New Game Plus mode, giving you access to the limitless powers, as most if not all the combat encounters would be a breeze. You know, when you introduce infinite black holes. We finally get to Paulie at the top of the lighthouse. The sky blackened out due to the eclipse, and Jackie's given a choice. Kill Paulie, let the darkness back in. You avenge Jenny, but you will lose all control. Or leave, let him survive. As we have seen, this is a dark story. The player is given an illusion of choice here, but there is only one outcome. You kill Paulie. And Jackie gives up. The darkness takes full control of you, ending our story.
Now you are mine. Mine.
In conclusion, The Darkness for me is a blend of action and open world gameplay. A fairly mid first person shooter with a strong sense of art direction along with a very strong and neatly laid out story. A story that is slightly hindered by its clunky gameplay, but one we can still enjoy and appreciate. The game does have a sequel, and whereas I do enjoy Prototype Bulletstorm a lot, it's not the hybrid open world of the Darkness one, and I would have loved to see a sequel to this game. A proper sequel by the same dev team, really deepening their ideas they had in this first Darkness game. I will continue to think about it and enjoy it for years to come. But great news! Night Dive, the guys responsible for a ton of PC ports, might be working on one for the Darkness. I'd love a PC version for this game, as it definitely smooth out a lot of the shooting. Playing this game is a lot more accessible than the others I've mentioned in this series so far. It can be bought on the Xbox store and played on any Xbox to date. It can also be streamed on PlayStation if you have the extra tier of PS Plus, the one that came with PS Now. Mid gameplay, great story and art direction, give it a try. Thank you for watching. So this is the part where I talk about production and behind the scenes stuff. Thanks for watching my little video on the Darkness. So this series, I always intended it to be an easy way for me to get back into content creation, and no pressure way to produce content in a faster and more efficient manner, keeping things short and sweet, hence the name Casual Reviews. But as any regular watchers may have noticed, the length of the videos is increasing. This goes for my ambition too. I'm getting closer to what I always wanted to make with YouTube, which is deeper, longer videos about the games that I really enjoyed and loved. I just wanted to touch on the fact that these videos are clearly getting less casual, and that's fine. I'm going to keep making them in the same theme regardless, as I'm really enjoying this less pressure style of video creation. So, I'm hoping to make 100 subs by the end of February, so hopefully we can reach that goal, and upload every 2 weeks. I was going to go for every week, but being back in my day job, it left me a lot less time to do the creative stuff that I want to do. I also might try new thumbnail styles soon. I'm almost happy with them. I just need to mess around with something. I'm not sure yet. How can I improve the thumbnails? If you have any ideas, please share in the comments below. There are a lot more talented and better people out there for me. And finally, that was the after credits bit. Thank you for enjoying this review. Thank you for watching this review. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time with something a little lighter and probably shorter, to be honest. Probably softer as well. Anyway, take care. I've been Goob.